I promised my dying dad I'd keep the family together, but I didn't realize it meant breaking myself to do it. Why are you always trying to make me look bad? My brother snapped, slamming his beer on the table. I stared at him, my hands trembling. I'm not trying to make you look bad, Theo. You're doing that on your own. The room went quiet, just the hum of the old ceiling fan and my mother's sharp inhale. We were sitting in the same living room where my father took his last breath 6 years ago, the same one where I'd promised him, tears streaming down my face, that I'd keep the family together. Back then, I thought that meant love. Now I understood it meant servitude. After Dad died, Theo moved back home to help Mom. What that really meant was draining her savings and using her house as a crash pad between failed business ventures. Every time I tried to confront him, Mom defended him. He's just lost right now, she'd say. Be patient. Meanwhile, I was working 2 jobs, paying Mom's bills, and cleaning up the messes he left behind. Unpaid rent, broken furniture, and empty promises. Last month, I found out Mom secretly took out a second mortgage to cover one of his investments. The loan officer called me by mistake because I was listed as her emergency contact. I confronted her, and she broke down crying. He said he'd pay it back, she whispered. He said it was his last chance. So here we were again. Family dinner turned into a battlefield. Theo, I said, voice shaking. You used Mom's retirement to buy into a pyramid scheme. He rolled his eyes. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's crypto. You just don't get it. You don't even own crypto. You gave your money to a guy named Blade you met at a car wash. A few cousins snickered. Theo's face flushed red. You think you're better than me because you have a degree and a job? You've always been Dad's favorite little project. Dad's favorite? I said quietly. He asked you to take care of Mom. You disappeared for a year after the funeral. Theo stood up. You think you're some saint because you pay bills? Newsflash. No one asked you to. Mom finally spoke. Enough! Her voice cracked. Both of you, stop. But something in me snapped. I looked right at her and said, no, Mom, I'm done stopping. I've spent 6 years keeping this family from falling apart, and all it did was break me. Theo laughed. So what? You're quitting? You can't quit family. That's when I realized maybe I could. The next day, I went to the bank. I paid off the mortgage balance myself, then transferred the house title to Mom alone, removing my name. I left a note on the kitchen table. Dad wanted me to keep the family together. I did my best, but keeping you together doesn't mean destroying myself. Then I packed my things and left. For weeks, Mom called nonstop. I didn't answer. Eventually, she sent a text. Theo's blaming you for everything. He says you're selfish. I replied, if being selfish means not being used, then fine. Months passed before I saw them again. It was at a family reunion, the first one I hadn't planned myself. Theo looked older, thinner. He avoided my eyes. Mom hugged me, tears slipping down her cheeks. I didn't know how much you were carrying, she whispered. I thought if I protected him, I could save us. I smiled sadly. You can't save someone who's comfortable drowning you. It wasn't revenge. It wasn't even justice. It was just peace. Quiet, steady, overdue peace. Theo eventually hit rock bottom, got evicted, lost his car, and started blaming the system. I didn't gloat. I sent him a text offering to help him find a therapist. He never replied. A year later, Mom sold the house and moved closer to me. She volunteers now at a local shelter. Sometimes she still apologizes. I always tell her it's okay because for the first time in years, it actually is. I kept my promise to Dad the best way I could. I didn't keep the family together. I kept myself together. And maybe that was what he meant all along. I just couldn't see it through the guilt. Sometimes I still hear his voice in my head when I doubt myself. You can love your family, son, but don't lose yourself trying to fix them. For the first time in my life, I finally listened.